All right, my friends, welcome back. And if you are starting a YouTube channel, you probably know, first off, how hard it is, and number two, you're probably racked with anxiety. Well, my channel is about budgeting, saving, investing, a little bit of crypto, but I've been doing videos about building a channel, helping give you information from a beginner's point of view, how to get started. And the problem is that YouTube is a major rabbit hole you can go down, and you go to look for one piece of information about how to make videos for YouTube, and all of a sudden, hours later, you're watching something about really expensive equipment. I'm going to break it down to two things that you should do or not do to kick off your channel. These are lessons learned kind of the hard way. Now, I run several different channels. I've got one big primary one. This one's kind of a labor of love, and I have come so far in the past year. And part of the problem is I focused on the wrong things. Now, you know the phrase lights, camera, action. They use it in filmmaking, and it applies to YouTube videos as well, but the order's wrong. It should be action, lights, camera. And I say that because the first thing is so many people are afraid to get on video. That's certainly become easier over time, but the first thing to do is actually take action. My first videos were atrocious. I mean, so utterly bad. I used a webcam. I used the microphone on the webcam. I had one sad little light, and I recorded in the middle of the night. So just bad lighting, bad sound, bad pacing. Everything was horrible. But at least I got started. And that's what I want to encourage you today is if you're thinking about a YouTube channel, you've got your topic, you know the subjects you want to be in, get a little focused, don't get too broad, just get started. Don't wait until you have everything laid out. Don't wait until you've got all the perfect equipment. Don't go buy your $2,500 camera, $1,000 lights each, and a bunch of other stuff, you know, $300 wireless microphone. Just pick up your phone and start recording. You don't need a gimbal, you don't need a selfie stick, you don't need, just start recording so you kind of break the ice and you find out how addictive YouTube can be. The second one, when I say lights and camera, this is really my two mistakes when I started YouTube. The first is I didn't spend money on things I should have, and I wasted money on things I shouldn't have. Here's the deal. The most important thing you can do is a webcam or your phone. They can record at 1080. You're going to get pretty good quality from those. Lights are going to be the biggest bang for your buck. And watch other videos where they talk about lighting tutorials or budget lighting setups. There's a lot you can do. Mine too, I don't remember how much they cost, 40 bucks, something like that. They're atrocious. They're terrible. I have to put a cut-up t-shirt across them just to try to get the softness I'm getting. But this back here, little light back there, helps separate me. You're going to learn about all this in all the videos that I'm talking about, but that's 60 bucks. These are maybe 40, something like that, really cheap. The problem is that was the best money I've spent. These, I should have spent more at the front end to get a better light, period. I'm suffering through these lights, and it's my next thing I need to update. Microphone as well. Don't use the microphone in your camera, the microphone on your webcam. At least get there we go. That's a wired lavalier mic. I've got it actually just plugged into my computer. I've got a wireless one as well, but get a microphone where you can do this. You don't need to go buy a $300 Rode wireless mic for your very first video, but for like, I think I got this for 15 bucks, 20 bucks, you can get one of these, dramatically improve your sound and get you moving down the road. Now, another example there is I went cheap when I moved to a wireless mic. Instead of investing in the Rode, I ended up with an off-brand, and it took me about a month to get it to work because it turned out the connection to my phone and the lavalier mic were both bad. Now that I've got it fixed and worked out, hey, it works okay, it works pretty good, but I really should have just spent a little bit of money at the front end. So what I'm telling you is, the summary there is, invest in lights. You don't have to spend $600 for a light, but don't buy the cheapest ones you can find. Learn a little bit. What I need is actually a real light with a softbox on it. That's going to give you the best bang for your buck. You just don't need a professional grade one. Same thing with this. You can step up your audio quality very, very simply. When you move to wireless, do your research, invest a little bit more. Sometimes the expensive stuff is actually worth it. And then finally, the camera. And this will be the one I replace later on in the year. Right now I use my webcam or I use my phone. I did buy a gimbal. I did buy a selfie stick. I have tripods. I just use my phone for almost everything. I actually have sitting right here beside me an old Sony camera, a real one, digital, about $700 when it was brand new. I've watched a lot of videos about the cameras that real YouTubers use, where you're talking about like a Sony A6, I think it is, S3, something like that. These are really, really expensive. I've already got one. Why don't I use it? Well, because I'm having a problem. It doesn't recognize when I plug in a microphone. So it actually records from the microphone and from the internal mic. So you end up with a ton of background noise and echoes and everything else. And I haven't gotten it figured out before I move to it. But that's the point. Get started, invest in new equipment slowly, but when you do, buy good. Just don't feel like you have to have everything in place all at the same time. If you have any questions, please let me know below, but I appreciate it.